my name's Haley and I'm the naturalist here at Pennyroyal Forest State Resort Park. And on today's recreation station, can you guess what we're going to be talking about? If you guess beavers, then you're right. I have two pelts here. I have a kit, which is a baby beaver, and then an adult. The adult is much bigger. So, did you know that beavers can be anywhere from 23 to 39 inches long, and that's just their head and their body. Their tail can add up to another 12 inches of length to them, and they can get up to 60 pounds. That's pretty big, right? Well, come with me and we'll learn some more about beavers. All right, so we are out here in the forest now. And if you look over here, you can see some evidence of different tree cuttings where beavers have felled trees. Those are kind of old, but right here is a pretty recent one. I can tell because the wood is fresh inside. And how do beavers cut down these kind of trees? Well, they use their teeth. They have very strong, specialized teeth in order to do this. If you tried to cut down a tree with your teeth, it probably wouldn't work out very well. Do not recommend. If you ever see a beaver, their teeth are orange, and the reason they're that way is not just because they need to go to the dentist, but it's actually because they have iron in their teeth, which makes them really, really strong so they can do this. And why are they cutting them down? Well, they use them to build their lodges and dams, which they are known for. And also, this is what they eat. Beavers have a diet that consists of different trees. They love bark, leaves, and also aquatic plants. Like they'll eat lily pad roots and stuff like that. And if they don't chew wood pretty regularly and consistently, then their teeth will actually grow where they can't eat anymore. Beavers' teeth continue to grow their entire lives, just like other rodents. Pretty neat. Have you ever heard the phrase eager beaver or busy as a beaver? Well, that comes from the beaver's ability to work tirelessly and endlessly building these dams. That's what they are famously known for. And what I'm standing on right now, our dam continues all the way over there, and it's actually flowing today. So they've either abandoned this or they have some work to do tonight. So these dams can get about 6.5 feet high and span hundreds of meters long. The biggest one that they've ever found is actually 850 meters, and it is located in Alberta, Canada. And they think that different families of beavers have been working on it for generations since the 70s. Why do beavers build these dams? Well, they build them for a number of reasons. One, they just really like ponds. They prefer that over moving water. And so they want to build this dam to create those ponds, which totally alters the ecosystem. It makes it where other animals will come in and live in this pond. Another reason why they build the dams is because they want to do this flooding and make it deep enough to where they can still swim in the winter, because they do not hibernate, so they don't want this to freeze completely. They anchor food at the bottom of the lake during the winter times. They have a little food cache down there so they don't get hungry during the winter, because they work all year long. All right, so how do beavers build these dams? Well, they take a bunch of branches and they'll weave them together. They'll fell trees, which means they cut them down. They're cutting them down with their teeth, remember? And they'll pack the area with mud to create these elaborate dams. They also have lodges, which is where they actually live in. The lodge looks different than the dam. It's actually more of like a dome structure, and they use the same materials, you know, tree branches. They'll use moss, different things like that, and pack it all together and seal it, waterproof it with the mud. And they'll live in those lodges with a family, so it'll be a mom and a dad, their babies that they have called kits, and their yearlings from the spring before will all live together. When the babies get to be 2 years old, they'll go off and create their own lodges. And then at 3 years old, they'll start finding and making families of their own. So that's pretty neat. And these lodges can only be entered through the water. They'll make a little opening underneath the water where they can swim into it. So that makes it good where they're not accessible by predators. That's the whole point of them having their lodges. It offers them protection from the outside. Here I am standing in front of a beaver lodge. So you'll see it's kind of domed up. It's here on the bank, but it actually goes into the water some too, because the entrances to a beaver lodge is always through the water. I'm not sure if this one is actively being used by beavers or not. It could be being used by otters, which is what I kind of suspect, because otters will have dens as well, and they'll use an abandoned beaver den. And the reason I think that is because I'm finding these shells for different kinds of mollusks around here. And beavers aren't really known for eating those, but otters are. I found different pieces of them. And we do have river otters that live in here. I have seen them before. They're pretty big and they're super cute. But I keep finding shells, so it looks like more of like an otter habitat to me, but it's definitely built by beavers, as you can tell from the structure and like the nubs of the sticks and everything. And otters don't eat wood like beavers do. They don't chew sticks and stuff like that like they do. So yeah, pretty cool. Another cool thing about beavers is all of their adaptations. They have special webbed feet to help them swim better in the water. They have a big tail which acts as fat storage for them to keep them nice and warm. It also helps them swim in the water because it acts like a rudder to keep them more stable in there. And when they're on the ground, it allows them to be more stable as well, especially when they're chopping down those trees or they're carrying thick limbs. They really need that extra support and stability. They also have the ability to close off their nostrils to help them swim underwater. And they have special third eyelid membranes that act kind of like swimming goggles so they can see underwater and keep their eyes open. They can actually stay underwater for 15 minutes, which is pretty impressive being that they're a mammal. They have a special back foot that helps them groom. They spend a lot of time of their day grooming, and it's not just so they look pretty, it actually helps them distribute oils from their anal glands to keep them nice and waterproofed. So they have this oil from a castor gland that's been said to smell like a musky vanilla. It's actually been approved by the FDA as a food ingredient, but it's pretty rare because it's very hard to get, as you can imagine, and we have plenty of other things that taste like vanilla. It's called castoreum. So one unfortunate side effect of having beavers around is that these dams create flooding. As you can see on our trail, we do have some flooding right now. It's not too bad right now because you saw the water's flowing over their dam, so it's not terrible, but they can actually flood hundreds of acres with these dams and the ponds that they create, which comes to be a big problem, especially when it has to do with farming or like here on our trail. We don't want one of our favorite trails to be wiped out. This is actually the lake trail that we're on right now, and it is my favorite trail on the park, but unfortunately these beavers have done a little bit of damage to it, but that's okay. Alright, a few more fun facts about beavers. They are nocturnal, which means they are mostly active at nighttime. That's when they're building all their stuff. And another fun fact about them is they are the second largest rodent in the world, only second to the capybara, which lives in South America, but they are the absolute largest in North America. I hope you guys enjoyed learning about beavers today during our recreation station and how adaptable they are and how they are great ecological engineers. See you guys later.